Bugungi darsimizda Cambridge 6 test 3 passage 1 analizini ko'rib chiqamiz. Birinchi navbatda titlga qarab olamiz degandik. Title yo'q. Lumiere Brothers demak kino haqida bo'lsa kerak. Passage 1 10 paragraphs which paragraph contains the following information. 10 ta paragraf bor ekan, 10 tadan faqat 5 tasini tanlab olishimiz kerak ekan. Undan keyin yes or no questionlari bor. Undan keyin multiple choice savollari bor ekan. Xo'p, bularni faqat o'qishimiz kerak, chunki men bularda ham refers to the film Train, film of the Train, mana ustunda Tchaikovsky's opinion. Qisqasi o'qishimiz kerak, javoblarni topishga harakat qilishimiz kerak. Ikkiga bo'la olamiz. 5 ta paragraf o'qiymiz, javoblarni ko'ramiz, yana 5 ta paragraf o'qiymiz, javoblarni ko'ramiz. Ketdik, boshladik. Lumiere Brothers opened their cinematograph, paying customers over 100 years ago. Before the eyes of the stunned, thrilled audience, photographs came to life, moved across a flat screen. So ordinary and routine has this become as it takes a determined leap of imagination to grasp the impact of those first moving images. But it's worth trying for to understand the initial shock of these images is to understand the extraordinary power of magic of cinema, the unique hypnotic quality that has made films the most dynamic and effective art form. One of the Lumiere Brothers' earliest films was 30-second piece, which showed a section of railway platform flooded with sunshine. A train appears and heads straight for the camera, and it's all what happens. Yet the Russian director Andrei Tarkovsky, one of the greatest of film artists, described the film as a work of genius. As the train approached, panic started in the theater. People jumped and ran away. That was the moment when cinema was born. The frightened audience couldn't accept that they were watching a mere picture. Pictures were still. Only reality moved. This must therefore be a reality. In their confusion, they feared that a real train was about to crush them. Early cinema audiences often experienced the same confusion. In time, idea of film became a familiar. The magic was accepted, but never stopped being magic. Film has never lost its unique power to embrace the audience, transport them to a different world. For Tarkovsky, the key to that magic was the way in which cinema created a dynamic image of the real flow of events. A still picture could only imply the existence of time, while time in a novel passed at the whim of a reader. But in cinema, real objective flow of time was captured. ABCD ni o'qidik, javoblarni topishga harakat qilamiz. Captured. Tushunarli. Location of the first cinema. Bor. Mana location of the first cinema, 100 paying customers, 100 years ago, Boulevard des Capucines in Paris. Doing A bo'ladi. Keyingisi, how cinema came to focus on stories. Storiesni ko'rmadik. Cinema muhim emasda. Focus on muhim, stories muhim. Speed at which cinema has changed. Speed cinema has changed ma'lumot yo'q. Teach about other cultures. Teach about other cultures ma'lumot yo'q. Attraction of actors haqida ma'lumot yo'q. Hope important. Hope ayni oldik faqat. Important to understand how the first audience. It's important to understand how the first audience reacts to cinema. Aslida ko'rganingizdek, audience experience the same confusion. Important mi yo'qmi? Mana. It was a work of genius. People jumped and ran away. It was a moment when cinema was born. The frightened audience couldn't accept the way watching mere picture. Important bo'lsa kerak bu. Chunki o'zingiz ko'rganingizdek, o'sha odamlar scare bo'lgan vaqtda cinema was born dedi. O'sha vaqtda cinema dunyo yuzini ko'rdi. Yo'q, mana deyman. It's worth trying for us to understand the initial shock of those images, to understand the extraordinary power of magic in cinema. O'z ko'rganingizdek mana. So ordinary routine has become, it takes determined leap of imagination to grasp the impact of these. It's worth trying for to understand the initial shock. Demak, o'qisunda initial shockni tushunishga harakat qilish kerak. Extraordinary power and magic of cinema ni tushunish uchun. Demak, o'qishunda muhim tushunish. Reaction. Lumiere Brothers' film about the train was one of the greatest films ever made. Hop, buni Russian director, one of the greatest of film artists, described as a work of genius. Lekin greatest films ever made. Work of genius ekan bu Tarkovsky, lekin bu muhim bo'qsimda lekin ma'lumot yo'qligi uchun not game deb olsa kerak. Yoki not game yoki yes da bu. O'sha Tarkovskiyning gapiga ishonadigan bo'lsak bu yes, agar Tarkovskiyning gapiga ishonmaydigan bo'lsak bu not game. Ba'zi view as countries ko'rganimiz yo'q. Storylines were important very early cinemani ko'rganimiz yo'q hozircha. Hope the writer refers to the film of the train in order to demonstrate simplicity. No impact. Yes. Short. Nope. How imaginative? No. Xuddi impact bo'ladi-da, qisqasi mana. Panic started in the theater. People jumped and ran away. Mana ma'lumot bor. Qisqasi o'sha writer buni berishdan sabab o'sha odamlarga bo'lgan effektini, odamlarga bo'lgan ta'sirini ko'rsatish maqsadida bo'lgan edi. Bo'ldi. In Tarkovsky's opinion, attraction of the cinema is that it attraction. Where's attraction? Mana, the key to magic was that in which cinema created a dynamic image of real flow events. Impress, no. Tell stories, no. Illustrate the passing of time, yes. Attraction of the cinema is that, mana. Attraction, mana. The key to the magic of the cinema was the way in which cinemas create a dynamic image of real flow event. Demoqchimda, cinema dynamic image-ni anaqa tayyorlagan, dynamic image-ni ko'rsatgan. Real flow of event, ya'ni o'sha eventlarni harakatlanishini nima deydi buni? Harakatlanish deydimi yoki oqimini, flow-ni dynamic image ko'rsatgani uchun ham bu attraction bo'lgan, magic bo'lgan. When cinema first began, people thought that buni ko'rmadik. Best title ko'rmadik hozircha. Xo'p, rangni o'zgartirib ketaversak boradi. Ketdik. One of the effects of this realism was to educate the world about itself. Cinema makes the world smaller. Long before people traveled to America or anywhere else, they knew what other people looked like. They knew how other people worked and lived. Overwhelming the lives recorded, at least in film fiction, had been American. From the earliest days of the industry, Hollywood has dominated the world film market. American imagery, the cars, cities, cowboys became the primary imagery of film. Film carried American life and values around the globe. Javoblarni topgandek bo'ldim. Xo'p, storiesni ko'rmadim. Mana how cinema teaches us about other cultures bo'lishi mumkin, katta ehtimollik bilan. Bo'lishi mumkin. Chunki American lifeni tushuntirgan. Americans, we are Americans. We speak American here. And thanks to film, future generations will know 20th century more intimately than any other period. We can only imagine that life was like in the 14th century or classical Greece. But the life of the modern world has been recorded on film in massive encyclopedic detail. We shall be known better than any preceding generation. Tushunarli. The star was another natural consequence. Lekin mana Bayezid mana cinema presents other country story, lekin Bayezid view ko'rmadim hozircha. Asosan Americanni ko'rsatdi, lekin Bayezid bunaqa subyektiv degan gaplarni ko'rsatganligi yo'qligi sababli buni no olamiz. Yoki not deb olamizmi? Bilmayman. Qisas ko'ramiz, qisas. Pew. Keyingisi Star was another natural consequence of cinema. The cinema star was effectively born in 1910. Film personalities were such immediate presence and inevitability. They became super real. We watch them so closely, and because everybody in the world seemed to know who they are, they appear more real to us than we do ourselves. The star, as magnified human self, is one of the cinema's most strange and enduring legacies. What the hell? The attraction of actor in films bo'ladi bu demak G bo'lar ekan. Seriously. Wake up, let's go. Cinema also has given a new lease of life to idea as a story. Yeah, sorry. How cinema came to focus on stories bo'ladi bu. Stories H bo'lar ekan. Keyingisiga o'tamiz. Rayni o'zgartirib ol. Xo'p, storylines were important very early cinema. Ko'ramiz storylines. When Lumiere brothers and again pioneers are showing how this invention, it was by no means that always it would be used. No. Javob no. Mayli, shunaqa bo'la qolsin. Yes, not given, no bo'la qolsin. Yes, not given, no bo'ldi javoblarimiz. Xo'p, nima uchun storylines were important bo'lmagan? Storylines important bo'lmaganligini sababi mana Lumiere browserlar, boshqa pionerlar bo'sh ishni qilganda binomials umuman degani, binomials degani mutlaq degani obvious how it would be used. Storylar qanaqa ishlatilishi haqida hech ma'lumot bo'lmagan. O'sha uchun stories muhim bo'lmagan. All that mattered was at first was the wonder of movement. Demak, bo'lsa boshlanishda nima muhim bo'lgan? Bu wonder of movement, ya'ni o'sha harakatda g'aroyibota bo'lgan. Qisqasi shu kerak emas. Bu qism tugadi, o'zini qaysiga yetdi? Xo'p, bu hali tugagani yo'q. Bu savolcha. When films first began, people thought, qanday ko'rganimiz yo'q. Cinema might, for example, have become primarily documentary form, or might have developed like television as a strange noisy transfer of music, information and narrative. But what happened was that it became overwhelmingly medium for telling stories. Originally these were conceived as short stories. Early producers adopted the ability of audience to concentrate for more than length of the period. In Italian was hugely successful. Hollywood settled upon the novel-length narrative that remains the dominant cinematic convention of today. It has all happened so quickly, almost unreal. It's mere 100 years. Job Thornton, Waldo. Speed the job on top. Speed. I am speed. Did you come the speed at which cinema has changed. Mana. All it has happened so quickly. Test bo'ldi. Usual sense bo'ldi. Qisqasi J bo'ladi. J. Keyingisiga o'tamiz. Bu tayyor bo'ldi. Screamed and fled, economies in danger, shelter, where did it? It would always sell to you. Nope. Fairground. Nope. Unappreciative. Nope. Its future was uncertain. Ma'lumot bor. Mana. Cinema, for example, have become a primary documentary form, might have become television, but what happened was it became medium for storytelling. Hech kim bilmagan, bunaqa bo'lishi mumkin, lekin bu storytelling qilish uchun, o'sha hikoyalarimizni aytib berish uchun joyiga aylanib qolgan ekan. Eng zo'r title bu qismda bilmayman nima title bo'lishi, eng zo'r title. Rise of the Cinema Star. Nope. Cinema novels compared. Nope. Domination of Hollywood. Nope. Power of big screen. Yes. Big screen kuchi haqida ma'lumot berilgan, chunki bu yerda hammasi sinema haqida qisqasi hamma savollarga javob berishga harakat qildik. Xatolar bo'lishi mumkin, kommentlarda qoldirishinglar mumkin. Sen odam emas ekansan, xato qilding deb. Keyingi darsga ko'rishguncha xayr.